Africa in conversation. Africa's voice is rising, a new dawn is breaking. Conversations that matter, Patricia Nkwane is making. From development to innovation, we're shaping our fate. With every word, a brighter future waits. Africa in conversation, the dialogue's alive. With Patricia Nkwane, we're thriving to thrive. Sharing stories, ideas, and dreams untold. Africa's voice is heard, young and old. Yeah, yeah, yeah. From entrepreneurship to social change, we're finding solutions.
Good day and welcome to yet another an episode of Africa in Conversation, where we talk all issues Africa, all issues that are of concern to Africa, to try and empower, inspire and enlighten our own on issues that are concerning Africa. Today we are having yet another beautiful conversation today, talking about the landscape of business in Africa, just to try and appreciate where we are at, where we are going, and whether we are growing, whether we are becoming, whether Africa is driving into the developed that we want to see Africa becoming. And joining me is yet another amazing, handsome man all the way from Nigeria. I'm not going to try and blow his bubbles. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
I think you've been kind to me, Patricia Nkwane. I am glad to be interviewed. I'm glad to be welcomed by somebody, the delectable. I call it the delectable, wonderful, and well-grounded Patricia Nkwane. It's a pleasure being here with you. So, my name is High Chief Christopher Columbus Onukwa Geoman, or Chinawata the First, the CEO of Royal TV, and I'm also, while in Nigeria, I was also the CEO of Chris Woodman Interiors. I'm just the president emeritus of the Ohanese Igbo Youth in Kaduna. I'm a member of the Igbo Chiefs Association of Wolverhampton here in the United Kingdom. I'm also one of the stakeholders of the Igbo community here in the United Kingdom. I am a member of the Toban Igbo Council of Chiefs there in Kaduna. And shall I go on? Well, I'm somebody that is engrounded in culture. And also, I believe, like you said, in the fact that a better Africa can evolve from what we have today. Yeah.
Okay. A man of so many hairs. A man of so many hairs, which is it's very amazing. I was listening to you and I kept getting goosebumps. I was like, what else can he do? But what else can he do? But I fully understand. You know, today I just want us to go into this conversation. I'm one person that believes that one conversation can shift us to the direction of change. It can cause the change to happen. Within one conversation, one can be able to sit and say, that's the next direction that I need to take. And I want us to talk about the business landscape of Africa, one way or the other. Whether you go to Botswana, you go to South Africa, you go to Zambia, Uganda, wheresoever. For some reason, we are in the culture of building so many malls. Way so many more than the industrial part of it. And you look at it, you wonder, okay, statistics shows that as Africans, we are more buyers, we are more consumers than producers. And then the question is always, who produces then if we are all going to be more consumers than producers? So this is where I want us to talk, to say, but then where do we see Africa going? Because every single day there is migration from the rurals to towns, but in the same space, there is an increment of consumption than production. So that's the conversation that I want us to talk today, just to try and get Africa waking up to realizing, you know what, whatever way for the cycle of poverty to break, there should be a rise in the supply as much as there is a rise in the demand.
Now, you see, Africa is just like a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we, the Africans, are the passengers. So I just want you to imagine that you're in Botswana, or let me just take an aeroplane, yeah? You're in Botswana, and you intend to fly to America. So you put on a plane, just like every other person every other passenger in the airplane that intend to fly to America. So you guys get into a plane, and the plane takes off. Unknown to you, from the pilot to whoever is plotting the compass or whatever, don't even know where they are heading to. So if in your calculation, it's supposed to take 10 hours to fly from Botswana to America, I can assure you, it's not maybe because the pilot might not be, at least anybody that, that will be able to taxi an airplane and put it in the air is competent enough to fly. But in this case, the person flying the plane doesn't know where he's going. So you end up with trial and error. So he tries the plotting the wrong compass, latitude, blah, 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 and you end up in Ghana. You say, oh, this is not America. You take off again. You end up in Nigeria. This is not America. You take off again. That's how you'll be landing in different places. And if you're lucky enough, you get to America. If you're not lucky enough, you will not get. But the truth is, while you were doing all those trial and error, those that knew where they were headed to have gotten to America. So that is just it. The Africa is blessed. Let me tell you, Africa is so blessed that I think our blessing is our curse. The only problem we just have is leaders who are actually not leaders, but I call them misleaders. I'm just trying to be kind to them because they're even worse than misleaders. Anybody that misleads an entire generation is worse than a misleader. Some of them are demons. Look at what is happening in Cameroon today. That a generation, that a 50-year-old today have never known any other president apart from one man. Why would Africa not turn to a supermarket for everybody to come and drop stuffs? Because we have leaders who have no vision. I live in the United Kingdom, and I can tell you that there are policies that are not touched. No matter who comes into government, you can never touch it because this is what the United Kingdom stands for. And every project that is being done in this country, you don't just wake up and start something. It is checked, rechecked, unchecked, dischecked. They will check how it will affect even the animals. You can't just start up something in an area. You will not consider the birds. They consider the birds. They consider the wild animals. They consider everything. They consider human. When you want to build in a place, that is what they call. I ask somebody what I say. Have you ever heard of air quality test? Air quality. They test the quality of the air. So if there are going to be 1,000 people living in this place, so give or take, these are the kind of houses, these are the kind of trees that must be there, these are the kind of things that must be there to make sure that the people even breathe good air. So when you have leaders who think about the people, I tell you, what you're just saying now will not be a discussion we'll be having. Because for how many years? How all our leaders always talk about is good road, good this, good everything. That is all they talk about. You don't see people being developmental. You have leaders who prefer international organizations to come and turn their places. Today, China is everywhere. Very soon, it's even said that Africa is going to be a branch of China. And you know the Chinese, everywhere they go, you know, they have a policy. They have a policy of what they do. You need Chinese loan, okay, we'll give you the money, but we'll send our people to come and do the work. The money still goes back to them.
Yeah.
It still goes back to them. And now look at Africa has intelligent people. We are so blessed with natural and human. We are one of those that are blessed with natural and human resources.
Yeah.
How do we utilize these things? So, like they said, if you don't know how to use what is yours, somebody will come and use it for you.
Else will
Yes, somebody will, definitely, because life abhors a vacuum. Shopping mall. What are the things in the shopping malls? What are the things being so? And most of this, look at ShopRite. It's a franchise of who? South Africa. It's a franchise. They come, they build, you occupy, you pay rent to them. They make money. ShopRite. It's a franchise. It's a franchise. So what are the things that are there? It's a franchise. What are the things that are sold? How many things are produced in the country that are sold there? How many things produced in Nigeria are the things sold in ShopRite all across the world? You still have multinational companies, and that is because suddenly we've lost our Africanness and we want to become Europeans. But the truth is, no matter how you take it, you're an African. Can only adapt, but you can never change. So it's unfortunate, my dear. It's unfortunate that we just have misleaders who have no vision, and that is where we are.
Yeah, you talked about the trial and error. I think it's something that really but that's really sat with me. It just sat with me for a while, because I'm here thinking, you know, for some reason when we talk, we have good ideas and good intentions, but when it comes to implementation, we have a problem of implementation. And because every other time, whether South Africa is to go for elections, Nigeria is to go for election, one of the highest topics that will be discussed is youth employment. But for some reason, we are still stuck in a space where our talk is different from our acting, our action. And maybe I want us to talk a little bit about the difference that we are seeing between the talk and the implementation. How do we get to a space where what we talk about, the roads we talk about, wanting to see happening in Africa, get implemented? The industrialization that we talk about in Africa, we see it happening, and the connection, the unity. Because to start off with, I feel like the place to start is a conversation of unity amongst Africans, where we are not Africans fighting Africans, but we are in a space where we decide to build together. Maybe let's talk about ideas and implementations in Africa.
See, like I said, I will always say this because you know, fortunately, for some of us, you know, fortunately, some of us have traveled outside the country. We are lucky enough to have left the shores of Africa, and we can really see how things are being done. You see, everybody can play lip service to service. That doesn't make service become service. You can only play lip service, and you can only give what you have. There is no president on earth that is said to be the most intelligent. There is no way. But you must have the willpower to match your words. That is the point with Africa. We want good things. I was not discussing with somebody today, but we are not ready to work for it. And unfortunately, this is slowly trickling down into the next generation dangerously. Dangerously. I'll give you an example. If you see what is happening online now, everybody wants to be rich. Everybody, we now have put the cart before the horse. Nobody talks about hard work again. Everybody just wants to make money the easy way. I mean, and look at how fake wealth, how we flaunt wealth on social media. You know, people go to parties and all they do is spray money anyhow they get. So you have a youth that is not just unemployed, but unemployable. How many people look at the apprenticeship system? I told you, I'm a carpenter. When I was in Nigeria, yes, when I was in Nigeria, I trained. I went 3 years apprenticeship. 3 years. Yes, I went for 3 years. After school, I looked at, look, people now rely on going to school. You go to school, you get the papers, you come out there, you start looking for what to do. So I wasn't going to do that. So I humbled myself and I took the apprenticeship system. And I apprenticed for 3 years. I came out. I registered my company with the CAC in Nigeria in the year 2000. And before I came to the UK, I had a successful furnishing company. That's what I used to raise. Whatever I am today is from that thing. But entertainment has always been in me. But you need funds to push. Entertainment is not cheap.
Yeah.
And Nigeria doesn't have the system where you go to get soft loans to do these things. So everything I've done, I'll be funded by myself. But now let's look at the apprenticeship system. How many of these young men are willing to go apprentice, to go and learn a skill? Everybody wants to go to university. Whether you're qualified or you're not qualified, parents are ready to bribe their way for their kids. Look at what is happening in our universities. So these are supposed to be the future leaders. They are the ones that are the talk to the politicians who bring bad policies. So if you are a talk to a politician who will come in and bring you bad policy and not implement something that will give you job, don't you know that by the time you come out of the university, where is the job? So what do? They play lip service. They just cook up one thing, the empowerment. They will give you grinding machine, will give somebody the grinding machine, give someone a sewing machine. Is that the empowerment? Yeah, thank you, yes, but is that all? Don't you know that having a conducive environment where it's just like somebody that is poor and you want to empower him and you dash him a G-Wagon. What have you done? Have you not made him poorer? Because he won't be able to maintain that G-Wagon. And when he has to go and beg somebody for money, if the people he used to go and beg, they will tell him, you now drive a G-Wagon. How can you come and beg me for money? You're driving the G-Wagon. So what you've actually done is you've killed him. So when you empower me with a sewing machine, but there is no stable light, I have to go and look for a generator. Then you increase money of fuel. So where is the empowerment from? We are just running in a circle, my dear. We're running in a circle. See, you have people who are focused and realize that there is dignity in labor. In the United Kingdom, and of course, I know across Europe, that is what they call dignity in labor. The country has set up a system that protects you, whatever you're doing. If you like, be a dishwasher, be a toilet washer, be a street sweeper, be a bin collector, whatever, the system protects you. You earn minimum wage. You should earn enough to take care of you, pay your sundry needs and whatever. You have kids because you are working well. Your kids go to school free. So from the inception till they finish secondary school, they don't pay. You have Medicare. So the system allows you to thrive. There are what we call so if every drop is £3, you can buy, and your job your job is such that you take 2 drops. Maybe you take 2 drops going, 2 drops coming back. In other words, you're supposed to pay £12, right? But now there's something called a day saver. So you buy a day saver ticket for £5. Throughout that day, anywhere you go throughout that day, you will use that ticket of £5. So you see how the system allows you to save?
To save, yeah, true.
But in my country, Nigeria, you pay for every drop. Every drop you pay, every drop you pay, every drop you pay. So somebody that is earning 50,000 naira a month, and where you go to work, you spend 2,000 naira. Or let me just say let me say you spend 1,000 naira. In a month is how much have you spent on transport alone? So what do you go home with? So
I'm curious about something before we get to the difference between the haves and the have-nots and the different. I just want to ask this. For somebody that is probably listening and following through this conversation, and they're wondering, we've been in this cycle for a very long time. It's a cycle that some of us already found it's generational. It has been moving from one generation to the other, of us still complaining about the leaders of Africa. I know with Zimbabwe for a long time they complained about Mugabe. The Mugabe era ended, there was a new president. We are still in the same place of complaining about the economy, about the politician, and the question that I believe is in every African's head right now is, will the cycle ever end? And for it to end, for us to get to a state where everything is as defined as you are saying, how do we get there where everything is as defined, where there is a heart for the people as much as there is also a heart for development? Because I think my concern is reaching a state where there is development that we are seeing. Because some of the countries, I remember when I was at primary level, that is where we were talked about the developed and developing countries. And some of us, we were way back defined as developing countries, and you are still wondering, it's been how many years and Botswana is still defined as a developing country? When do we get to develop the country? How do we break this cycle to get ourselves to a state where one could say, now that country is developed?
I'm going to sing, I'm going to respond to this by a song by the late Bob Marley. He said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Now ourselves can free our mind. We have to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. The only way, like I told you at the beginning of this conversation, I told you that if you have a good destination, but you have somebody who doesn't know where you're going, you will end up in the wrong place. Not because you have not done everything right to go to the right destination. You've done everything. You bought your ticket, you set everything, but the person that is flying you is ignorant. I'm just trying to be, not to say the person is an idiot, but I'll just say the person is ignorant.
To distract you there, Mr. Christopher.
Yes.
I'm understanding the analogy that you're giving of the driver and you understanding where you are going and all that.
Yes.
And then my question is here. We, one way or the other, every time when we go, whether we go for elections or what, I know countries that change political parties almost after every 5 years and whatsoever, but still end up with the same result.
My country, Nigeria, does that. My country, Nigeria, does
that. Is it only the people that are driving us there, or does it mean even us as the people, we don't know what we want?
That's what I'm saying. So till we wake up and realize that the people that we are putting there are actually taking us to the wrong place. In Nigerian parlance, they will say, till we realize say our mumu don't do. Till, if you don't realize that your mumu don't do, election will become, somebody will come and meet you and give you money to go and snatch ballot box, and give you money to go and attack people of the opposition party. Why would a honest person that means well do that? You ask yourself this question. It is the same people that are complaining are the same people that, so look at this. Does it make sense? There was this madman there is this madman that used to live, when we were growing up, So his madness is that, his own pattern is funny. He will have food in his front, but he will tie a handkerchief on his mouth. Now, He will tie a handkerchief on his mouth, the food in his front, and he's looking at the food and he's wondering. This is where it's funny. He's wondering why he cannot eat the food. But he has tied his mouth. If only his brain could tell him, remove that thing from your mouth, the food will enter inside your mouth. So when he has stayed for so long struggling, somebody will just come and remove that thing from his mouth, then he will eat. Yogolo, that is his own. That was his own. That was what he struggled with. So till we realize as Africans, till we realize that we have to stand beside those that we know. And the funny thing is that we know. We know those that mean well. But maybe those that mean well don't have the money to run the election, because they say elections in Africa are expensive. So if you don't have money, you cannot bribe this, bribe that, or you cannot do this. But we know those that mean well. I mean, in your village, don't you know that old man who is who every billionaire that comes will still go to visit that man and get some word of wisdom? There are people like that. We know who is who, but we behave like that man. So if we can start this kind of conversation everywhere, if our contents are not more about rubbish, if our contents are not more about who has the biggest bomb or who has the biggest this, if our contents are now tailored towards good governance, the conversation have started. If you go to social media today, the kind of content you see are funny. You'll be like, is this also a content? We've lost it because people are looking for likes, they're looking for shares. So they believe that if they can do naughty things, they will get more likes and more shares. And that is what that's it. Those that control the narrative everywhere are youths like us. They're the ones that make the decisions. In Nepal, you see what happened. A generation rose up and said, never again. And they shook the table. Whoever goes there now will realize that, look, this thing happened. We have to do well. I'm not saying people should start having a violent revolution. We can have a revolution of the mind and we'll say no more. When people come to say, go and do the wrong thing, you will say, it's your own job to go and do it. If we get to that point.
That is the same thing that happened with Botswana last year, where the youth stood up to say, no, we've had this party here for so many years and we don't see the results. So it's high time we have something that is more youthful. And you know, one way or the other, maybe the question is always, how do we get our young people also to break away from the generational mindset that they find themselves in, where we stop identifying with the minority, with the poor, with the, you know, where for some reason, every time somebody talks about Africa, you know, we are always thinking, this is our Africa. There is no money in this our Africa. There's no jobs in this our Africa. And it's like we are all looking into leaving Africa to go somewhere, you know, because one way or the other in this our Africa, we don't see anything that can happen. And the question is, if we are all leaving, who is going to make this our Africa to be what we want it to be? We're going to go for a very, very short break. We'll be right back after the break to continue with our conversation.
Bridge Afrique magazine, BAM, is the powerful force to showcase your business to the world. Is your advert on the next edition yet? Make haste and connect with any of our coordinators across the world. One Love, www.bridgeafriquemagazine.net.
If I had to live my life without you near me, the days would all be empty.
Yayugu Villa et Ligny Amusement Park dans la province de Shandong, en Chine, offrent une zone de retraite surréaliste au milieu des paysages naturels. Cette villa offre une oasis tranquille avec des verdures luxuriantes, des ruisseaux cristallins, des vues à couper le souffle et une variété d'hébergements de luxe. Le parc dispose de pistes à roulettes, de diapositives et d'espaces thématiques. Yayugu Villa offre aux voyageurs une occasion unique de se plonger dans la beauté naturelle de la campagne chinoise. Venez vous détendre dans ce lieu surréaliste et ne manquez pas ce cadeau de vie naturelle. Plus d'informations sont affichées sur votre écran.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm still here with Mr. Christopher, and we are still talking the landscape of business.
Chief Christopher.
Chief Christopher. I'm still sorry about that. I'm still here with Chief Christopher, and we are still talking about the business and growth landscape of Africa, just to try and understand where we are at and trying to pave a path to where we want to be as Africa. I'm so passionate. I'm one person that I keep saying every time I come here to say, you know what, I'm a believer in Africa. I'm one person that believes Africa on its own is on a rise. The only thing that's delaying the becoming of Africa is the people of Africa. And I do believe that if we can wake up to the call of the moment to realize that this is the only Africa we have, this is our home, this is our place. And if we don't make it what we want it to be, we're always going to want and envy what other people have when we have the ability to make Africa to be what we want it to be. So with King Christopher here, and I think this is where I want our conversation to continue. Earlier on, you talked about Africa being blessed, and I do believe in my heart that we are blessed. All the natural resources that you can think about are here in Africa, produced right here in Africa, dug, mined right here in Africa. Not only the natural resources, but also even the human resources. Currently, you go to spaces of Olympic pageantry, we see the African minds, young people from Africa, and stepping to the course. Whether you go into football, we see the young people of Africa shining in every space. But then the question now is, for some reason, it is all minds in Africa, but it ends up somewhere else, and we still end up in the consuming space.
Yes.
That's where I want us to talk, because I feel like it has been like this for a while. We will have a good musician coming from Africa, an artist coming from Africa. Before you know it, the artist that is in Africa moves to a different country. Before you know it, Africa is ordering the same artist from America.
Mm-hmm.
We mine diamonds. Before you know it, we are buying them pricier coming from another country.
Exactly. Coffee.
That's where I want us to talk, because I do believe that if there could be a change there, then we would go into the industrialization that we want to see happening in Africa. Because, you know, Chief Christopher, when we get to the change, the direction of shift in Africa, one way or the other, we are always talking about SMMEs, growing in the direction of SMMEs, small businesses, small this. And for me, I do believe that the direction to go is industrialization. If we can have more industries where we don't have, where our youth, our women don't have to leave Africa going to China, to Dubai, to go buy clothes, to come sell in Africa, but buy clothes that are made with linen, that is cotton, that is produced in Africa, where we have to go to UK to go buy a golden ring or produced by a gold and a diamond that is mined in Africa, where we have to go look for oil that comes from Africa in developed countries. And I do believe that it's time we get to a space where the coffee, the oil, the diamonds, the gold, the uraniums and whatsoever in Africa, there are industries that specializes on those things. And for me, I believe that is the only way we can beat the unemployment in Africa.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is where I want us to talk.
Yes, industrialization is, I mean, if you have more industries than you have clubs, if you have, what does clubs? We have clubs everywhere. We have joints, we have this, we have that. What do they produce? Momentary pleasure. What do they sell there? Steel products made outside of Africa. So in a club, how many people work? Yeah, I mean, Las Vegas is about entertainment, yes. So we all know entertainment is part of life, yes. But when you have more of pleasure than work, it doesn't balance.
It doesn't.
Industries are closing. Why are they closing? Bad government policies and inefficiency. See, in my country, there is a mill called Ajokuta Steel Mill. You know, we're in the steel age. We're in the age of steel. Who controls steel controls industrialization in the world. Steel is like, you make more money from steel than you make from oil because it is recyclable. If petrol pours on the floor, it has wasted. But steel is recyclable. Yeah? So we have one of the largest steel mill in the world, Ajokuta Steel Council, that has never rolled till today, since it was built till today. Why? Because you have finished, it was completed. I have been there. I saw it, I wept. It's just like you finish building an industry and it never worked. You left it to rot. Why? Because there are powers that don't want it to work. Then you have government officials who also buy into those power for them not to work. You can never progress faster than the person that is leading you. You can't. All you need government to do is a policy. In China, you can see what they wear. They wear Chinese. They eat Chinese. They do everything Chinese. How many Chinese people do you see wearing this thing that I'm wearing now? Look at Indonesia. It took Lee Kuan Yew to make a decision. Is it Indonesia or Singapore? He took a decision and said, you know what? This is what we are going to do. That's Singapore, right? Singapore was a developing nation like us too. Today, look at Singapore. A leader came up and said, you know what? I'm going to sacrifice comfort. He called for a meeting. People came, all those ministers came with their fleet of cars. While in the meeting, they got a crusher to crush all the cars. If the leader is not corrupt, you see corruption. Corruption is the bane. If the leader is not corrupt, no other person will be corrupt. So what you're saying is right. We need to industrialize, but you also need good government policies. Industries are leaving many countries, leaving my country too, because why? Where is the power? Do you know what it means to run on generator? Factors that affect production. So if you don't have good government policies, if this government come, he will change one policy that will affect this one. This one come, he will change. Instability. That's what I told you, like in this country, there are policies that can never be touched by anybody that comes into power. You can't touch it. You can have some other laws that you can, but there are things that have to do with development and stuff like nobody touches.
Yeah.
And when you have those kind of stability, investors have confidence that will not come and invest. And tomorrow, one government will enter. I will say, no. One of the things, look at the furnishing industry in Nigeria. We have very talented craftsmen, but what is killing it? Chinese product. Chinese product, Chinese cheap product, cheap tables, cheap this, cheap that. All those things are made with sawdust and cheap boards and stuff like that. Don't last.
Yeah.
There are panel doors that I built that have stayed for 20-something years that are still there. Which Chinese door will go and stay that long? But you have people that are making money from allowing those things to flood your market. So how can the industry grow? How can the industry grow when you can just import it and sell it? They are the ones that make the policy. So if we start having people that make, first of all, we have to industrialize, yes. No, first of all, we have to have good leaders. And for us to have good leaders, we must be willing to vote them in. And for us to be willing to vote in good leaders, We must emancipate ourselves from this slavery of bribery and corruption. When you settle this one, and when the leaders come in, we need to industrialize from production, from consumption to production. We have to industrialize. And when you industrialize, you create, that is when you start creating the jobs. Then when you industrialize and you produce, then you have to make good policy and say, in Nigeria now, we will eat what we produce. We only eat what we produce. So if you like corn, if you like corn beef, and we don't make corn beef, the company will come. Look at what Donald Trump is doing. He will tell you, America first, America second, America third. All those of you that have taken your companies outside America, bring them back, or else don't worry, we'll give you 100% tariff. So you're taking your job to China to beat because of cheap labor. No problem. In producing this pen in America will cost you $2 to sell at $5. Then you will go to China and produce at $1 to sell at $4. No problem. We'll give you 100% tariff. So by the time you are even bringing it to America, this pen is going to $7. Nobody will buy. But if you don't want us to give it that, bring your industry back to America. So if we have people, if we have people that can give that kind of confidence, and investors are ready to bring out their money, but they need to have, because already we have a population that consumes. So if we have, look at what Traore is doing in his country. So if we have leaders who actually believe in industrialization, and they bring these products, and they're able to in those days we had all these companies in Nigeria, but they all live, Dunlop, all of them, Leventis, all of them are gradually leaving. You know why? Because of bad government policy. So if you make the environment conducive, they will come. Then you have job. You understand? As you say, you're producing in Nigeria to eat in Nigeria, all those malls will be filled with Nigerian products. And that is where you start that gradual process of reclaiming back what we want. That's where you will start. But till then, my sister, what do we do? It is what it is. It is what it is.
I think where we are failing at is realizing that even nations like China, at some point, they had to sit down and make a decision.
Exactly.
To say, you know what, unless we are thinking, unless something is done, we are going to continue to see.
Exactly. You know? They have to take a decision. If you are corrupt, if you are corrupt, even if you are the president, they catch you. They say because the money is public. They catch you, it is debt. That is it is debt. So if you are in office and you know that, I think you will sit with.
I think that the other problem is where we make laws that protect a certain group of people and then not protect other people. And then we protect the people that are supposed to now be making that shift the direction of change. And also, I think coming to the end of our conversation, maybe this is where I want us to end this conversation with, is realizing that for some reason, one of the things I noticed is it's easy to talk change, but like you said, there has to be a mindset of change in the process of it.
Exactly.
You know, for change to begin to happen. But for some reason, as Africans, we are people that are so reserved. We are afraid of change. Let me put it that way. We are so afraid of change. You know, you get an African person telling you, you know what, I'm okay with the way things are, because what if we change and they go bad? What if we change and it becomes worse? What if we change? And I think that is where, even as a country, I think Botswana, that is where we were for 50 years, you know, where every time we are thinking of change, somebody goes, what if we change and things get worse? What if we change So people sell our country and sell our whatsoever. And I think maybe for a moment, if you can talk about the need for mindset change, for somebody that is here, that is listening and probably thinking, you know what, it's not like we don't want change, but what if things go bad? What if we try the industrialization and everything, and one way or the other, in the process of it, we end up with more Indians and more Chinese and more whatsoever, and we end up losing our country. For somebody that is still at the edge of thinking change because they are thinking, what if the worst case scenario happens?
You see, the fear of failure is why many startups never start. And that is why many talents go to the grave. Okay. Will you say because of the fear of death, you will not sleep? What if I sleep and I don't wake up?
Still sleep.
Has the fear of death ever stopped you from sleeping? Have the fear of accident stopped you from driving?
Nope.
Have the fear of having a broken heart failed you from loving?
Not at all.
You must make a move, but you must make a calculated move. That is what I told you. If the Chinese didn't sit down and take a decision, they will not be where they are.
Yeah.
See, you have to venture. Life is an adventure. We have to. What if? Okay. So if we try and fail, well, it's just like we didn't try. So we keep trying. I'll give you an example. Today we are enjoying communication. This means of communication now. We've gotten to the age where communication has gone beyond just talking on the phone. It has gone beyond Telegram. It is now on I can see you facially. Technology has gone to we can use hologram as you're saying, I'll be seeing you standing in front of me now. It has gotten to that stage. We are now with AI, robotics, everything. Because some people decided to venture. Today we have people going to the moon, going to the sun, we're attempting going to Mars, going to everywhere. Because somebody ventured.
Yeah.
So we owe it to the next generation to try. And when we try, where we got to, we keep the track so that when they want to begin, they will not continue from where we started. They will continue from where we stopped. That is progress. It's just like a 4x4 meter race. You will not say, this race that Usain Bolt is there, I'm going to lose. And you will not run. You have to run. And you must keep exchanging baton until it gets to the last person. And you will hope that person comes first. See, trying something and failing is actually not failure. Failure is not even trying.
Not even trying.
That is where it is failure. So for every person who has gotten married, there was a time when he was thinking of asking the lady out. So for a man, you see a beautiful lady, you want to ask her out, then you start thinking, what if she says no? I will be embarrassed. Is she going to laugh at me? Is she going to do this? But if you're convinced and your emotions are so strong that you need her, you will do whatever. Even when she keeps rebuffing you, which is part of the failure, you will continue till you succeed in winning her heart.
That's true. That's fair.
That is true. So how passionate are we about what we want? That is what you will ask. So we are more attracted to things that distract and getting distracted by things that attract. That is the summary of what is our problem. So we have to try and we have to take the first step. And that is the first step of telling ourselves the truth that, okay, Now I want to try. That is the first step. So if I wake up this morning and I decide not to go out of my door, though I have woken up, though I'm in the room, but nobody will know that I'm alive. Till I'm able to muster up and open the door and come out and say good morning. You can't just assume. So we must muster up the courage to try. If we don't succeed at first, we keep trying. We keep trying. It has taken America over 200 and something years to be where they are. 200 and something years. So count how many presidents they've had in 200 so to be where they are. But they have the founding fathers of America made it clear what the roadmap was. And everybody that comes follows that roadmap. They will tell you, when they speak, they will say, our founding fathers. Our founding fathers. You are an African. What was the dream of our founding fathers? Are we living by the traits of our founding fathers? If we are not, so that is the problem. So till we get to that stage where we will tell ourselves truth.
Bridge Afrique magazine, BAM, is the powerful force to showcase your business to the world. Is your advert on the next edition yet? Make haste and connect with any of our coordinators across the world. One Love, www.bridgeafriquemagazine.net.
If I had to live my life without you near me, the days would all be empty. The night.
Yayugu Villa et Ligny Amusement Park dans la province de Shandong, en Chine, offrent une zone de retraite surréaliste au milieu des paysages naturels. Cette villa offre une oasis tranquille avec des verdures luxuriantes, des ruisseaux cristallins, des vues à couper le souffle et une variété d'hébergements de luxe. Le parc dispose de pistes à roulettes, de diapositives et d'espaces thématiques. Yayugu Villa offre aux voyageurs une occasion unique de se plonger dans la beauté naturelle de la campagne chinoise. Venez vous détendre dans ce lieu surréaliste et ne manquez pas ce cadeau de vie naturelle. Plus d'informations sont affichées sur votre écran.
Bridge Afrique Magazine is the award-winning and globally respected publication for authoritative information regarding business potentials and opportunities in Africa of interest to China and beyond. Your business doesn't get to Africa if it's not on Bridge Afrique Magazine. We are the official magazine of Ethiopian Airlines. What are you waiting for? You can contact us +861 391894 3324. Your business is next in line.
What I'm going to say, thank you, Patricia. What I'm going to say, it's simple. Nothing moves except you move. Nothing moves except you move. It pays to be a nice person, because if you're a nice person and a nice person gets into power, then nice things will happen. We must do to run away from corruption. Corruption is one of the things that have brought Africa down, that have brought us to where we are, that have made us have misleaders instead of leaders and dictators instead of Democrats. Corruption, because at the end of the day, everything you've corruptly gotten, you will leave it. Look at Sese Seko. His mansions, his children, in short, nobody goes there. So all this wealth, what are you going to do with them? Nothing. The best, I'm going to give you two great leaders. One, identify with poverty. Her name is Mother Teresa. One is Mobutu Sese Seko. Now, look at these two people. Who does the world remember fondly every day? It's Mother Teresa. World leaders, everybody for Mother Teresa of Calcutta, everybody flew to go and see that woman, but she was identifying with the poor. So we have leaders who have a conscience. And let me tell you something. A child that is 10 today will not be 10 tomorrow. So we must start from now, be able to groom new leaders, young leaders, make good contacts, read good books, and be able to be the change you want. I want you to be the change you want society to be. Michael Jackson once sang and said he's talking to the man in the mirror, that if you want to make a change, look inside yourself and make the change. So who is the man in the mirror? Is it not you? When you look in the mirror, who do you see? Is it not yourself? If you can change that person in the mirror, then we have started changing society. And I can tell you, Africa is the mother of the world. Africa is the soul of the world. The world needs Africa. Do you know that Africa doesn't, Africa has never gone to colonize any Western country. Africa doesn't go to any Western country to go and mine something or whatever. Everybody comes to Africa. Think about it. France, America, Russia, Britain, everywhere goes to America. How many countries have Africans gone to go and carry their resources to come to Africa? None. None. We accept, Africa can sustain itself. Africa, the world needs Africa. For all the years that they've been taking from Mother Africa, we still have more in abundance. From our, everybody loves chocolate, different chocolate, but the weather here cannot grow the cocoa tree. The tree still grows in Africa. The best chocolate come from chocolate come from Africa. Yes, the best that comes from Africa. The best diamonds are in Africa. Botswana, you guys have wonderful diamonds. Gold, everything in Africa. So if we can actually convert this, like Dubai, the king of Dubai, what you're saying is one man's idea of what it should look like. So if we can bring a leader who will take the mantle, I tell you, beyond the sky will be the limit for Africa.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that answer. You know, there's a proverb that I like so much that says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years back. The second best time is now. And I look at it and I always say to people, we may have failed at it 20 years back. We may have failed at it 50 years back or 10 years back, but our second best time is now. And I do believe this is the second best time for Africa, for us to refigure ourselves, for us to sit down and start having, concrete conversations that are to drive us to the direction of change. It's time for us to, unpack issues, get to all those unspoken conversations, all those, conversations that we have been avoiding, to get ourselves to a space where now we are able to sit authentically with ourselves to say, now can we build the Africa that we want to leave behind for the generation that is to come? Because truth be told, our great-grandparents and whosoever, they made decisions that they made with whatsoever the little that they have. But it's an error if your parents struggled because of an earning of a 500 and you come to earn 2.5 and you're still struggling the same way they struggled, and you let your children to come and earn 1 million and they still carry out the struggle of a 500 that their great-grandparents struggled with. It's high time we sit down and we map a direction to say this is where we need Africa to go. Thank you so much,
Exactly.
Chief Christopher, for the conversation that we had. And I believe we are going to still be coming back here to have more conversations that are to gear
Exactly.
Africa to the direction where we want to see Africa going.
Exactly.
Once again, thank you so much and hope to have you join me again next time.
Africa in conversation. Africa's voice is rising, a new dawn is breaking. Conversations that matter, Patricia Nkwane is making. From development to innovation, we're shaping our fate. With every word, a brighter future waits. Africa in conversation, the dialogue's alive. With Patricia Nkwane, we're thriving to thrive. Sharing stories, ideas, and dreams untold. Africa's voice is heard, young and old. Yeah, yeah. From entrepreneurship to social change, we're finding solutions.